y. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to solve for the value of x and y from this linear equation simultaneously. And this question was sent to me this morning from one of my followers from one country. So the question read, solve the equation root of x plus y is equal to 7, and the second equation is x plus root of y is equal to 11. So how are we going to solve for the value of x and y simultaneously from this equation? The first thing we're going to do is to name the equation. So we name the first equation as equation 1, then the second equation as equation 2. The next thing we're going to do is to let x to be equal to any variable. Let's use m. So x to be equal to what? M squared. And also we let y to be equal to n squared. We can use any variable. So now we're going to replace it back to the equation. Anywhere we see x, we replace as m squared, and anywhere we see y, we replace as n squared. So in place of x here is going to be what? Square root of m squared, then plus, in place of y, we replace what? N squared, which is equal to 7 from equation 1. Then equation 2, in place of x here, we replace what? M squared, plus, in place of y is going to be what? Square root of n to power 2, which is equal to 11. And we know that when you have a square and a square root is going to cancel. So therefore, this square is going to cancel this square root. So we just delete the square and the square root. And similarly, this square is going to cancel the square root. So we delete the square and this square root. So now we can name this as equation 3, then also this as equation 4. So the next thing we are going to do from equation 3, we are going to make m the subject of the formula. So m is equal to, we have 7 here, then minus, we take this n to the right hand side of this equation become negative n squared because it was positive. When positive n squared cross the equality sign, it will be what? Negative n squared. So the next thing we're going to do is to put this m is equal to 7 minus n squared back to equation 4. So we put in equation 4. So from equation 4, what we have? M squared plus n is equal to 11. So anywhere we see m, we replace it as what? 7 minus n squared. So this is going to be what? 7 minus n squared, then all square because of this square. So this is the value of m, then everything all square. Then plus n. What is n? My n is, you rewrite n, which is equal to 11. Now we're going to expand this bracket. 7 minus n squared implies 7 minus n squared multiplied by 7 minus m squared into two places. It's going to be what? 7 minus n to power 2, then multiply by 7 minus n to power 2, then plus n is equal to 11. Now we're going to expand this bracket. 7 multiplied by 7 is going to give us 49. Then 7 multiplied by negative n squared is going to give us negative 7n squared. Then negative n squared multiplied by 7 is negative 7n squared. So negative 7n squared, negative 7n squared is going to give us negative 14n squared. Then negative n squared multiplied by negative n squared is going to give us positive n to power 4. Then plus n is equal to 11. Now we're going to rearrange this equation starting from the one that have the highest power. So what is the highest power here is n to power 4, then minus 14n to power 2. Then here we have n again, plus n. Then we have plus 49. Then when we take this 11 to the left hand side, it becomes negative 11, which is equal to 0. So here we have 49 minus 11. When you take it away 11 from 49, we're going to left with what? Positive 38. So we can replace this as what? 38. So the next thing we're going to do is to get one of the solution, one of the value of n that will satisfy this equation. To get the value of n, we're going to use what we call try and error. Try and error. Try and error in the sense that we're going to start from 1. When we plug it as n, let's assume n is equal to 1. We plug into this equation. When the left hand side is equal to 0, it's going to be the same as the right hand side. That means n is equal to 1 satisfy the equation. But if the left hand side is not the same as the right hand side, then we try the next number, which is 2. If n is equal to 2 did not satisfy, when we try 3, we try 4. So let's start from what? From 1 at n is equal to 1. So when we plug in 1 here, 1 to power 4 is the same as 1, then minus 1 square is the same as 1, then 1 multiplied by 14 is the same as 14, then plus 1. When we plug in 1 here, it's going to be 1, then plus 38. Plus 38 is equal to 0. Now, what are we going to do? We check 1 minus 14 plus 1 plus 38 is going to give us 26. And 26 is not the same as the right answer. That means this n is equal to 1 did not satisfy this equation. So let's try as n is equal to 2. When we plug in 2 here, 2 to power 4 is going to give us 16. Then when we plug in 2 here, 2 raised to the power of 2 is going to give us 4. Then 4 multiplied by negative 14 is going to give us negative 56. Then plus, when we plug in 2 here, so it's the same as 2, then plus 38 is equal to 0. Then 16 minus 56 plus 2 plus 38 is the same as 0, and 0 is the same as the right answer, which is 0. That means n is one of the solution. So the next thing we're going to do is to put this n is equal to back to what? Equation 3 to get the value of m. So from equation 3, equation 3. So what is equation 3 is what? M plus n to power 2 is equal to 7. So let's replace n is equal to 2 into this equation. So this is going to be what? M plus, when we plug in 2 here, 2 raised to the power of 2 is going to be 4, which is the same as 7. So n now will be equal to 7. And when we take this 4 to the right hand side, it becomes negative 4. So therefore, m is equal to 7 minus 4 is going to give us 3. So n is equal to 2 and m is equal to 3. Then initially, recall that we let x to be equal to m squared, then also we let y to be equal to n squared. Now we're going to get the value of x and y now. We solve m to be equal to 3 and we solve n to be equal to 2. Let's replace it back. So x now be equal to, what is m? M is the same as 3. So this is going to be what? 3 squared. And 3 squared is the same as what? 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. So 9 is the value of x. Now let's solve for the value of y here. So y now be equal to, what is n? We solve n to be 2. So this is going to be what? 2 to power 2. So y now will be equal to 4. 2 raised to the power of 2, meaning 2 multiplied by 2, which is going to be equal to 4. Therefore, the value of x is equal to 9 and the value of y is the same as 4 from this equation. But let's check whether these two values satisfy the original equation. So from the equation, we are given that square root of x is equal, square root of x plus y is equal to 7. Equation 1. So let's plug in at x is equal to 9 and y is equal to 4, whether the left hand side is going to be the same as the right hand side. This is from the equation 1. So square root of, what is x? We solve x to be 9 plus, what is y? Y is the same as 4, which is equal to 7. 9 is a perfect square. What is square root of 9? Is 3. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. What is 3 plus 4? 7 is the same as 7. So that means the x is equal to 9 and y is equal to 4 satisfy the first equation. So let's take the second equation, which is what? X plus square root of y is equal to 11 from here. So this is the second equation. So what are we going to do? In place of x, we replace 9 plus, what is y? Y is the same as 4, which is equal to 11. So 9 plus square root of 4 is what? 2, which is equal to 11. 9 plus is the same as 11, and 11 is the same as 11. That means the two value x is equal to 9 and y is equal to 4 satisfy this equation. So this is how to solve this kind of linear equation. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.